Hey y'all. So I'm kind of having to feel into these energies because it's March 7th, the full moon's tonight, and I still haven't made a video for March. Not that I make a conscious effort to, but lately, every month, I've been kind of feeling in to the collective energy. And when I started to this month, I was feeling a little frustrated. I was feeling a little hypercritical of myself. And I'm like, where is that coming from? I thought I kind of worked through that. And then I realized it's kind of the energy in the astrology, in the air right now, and that, big shift that a lot of people have been talking about that's going to take place in March. I'm starting to feel and get a feel of what those energies are really bringing forth and what they mean and how we can truly navigate them, because that is what I'm myself kind of feeling into. I really get the energy of the balance of the masculine and feminine inside of yourself. And it's very easy to become ungrounded. That is definitely what I've been feeling. And I have to make this conscious effort to stay grounded. Otherwise, feelings like anxiety. Now, anxiety is something that I have dealt with my entire life. So, for me, I think that it's just me. And then once I start seeing it around me and understanding how it's affecting the collective at the same time, if you're a person who hasn't normally dealt with anxiety, this could feel like a lot for you. This really could feel like a lot for you because it's unfamiliar territory, those kind of levels of anxiety. And when there's a lot of light coming in, and you can start to feel ungrounded, that can give you an anxious feeling, right? It's kind of like somebody who doesn't smoke weed because it makes them paranoid. And then they have no choice because these energies are making them feel high. And then they're being hyper conscious of everything going on around them, hyper conscious of themselves. And then you get into that criticalness of yourself, right? Criticalness of like, this is what mission is supposed to look like. This is what my life is supposed to look like right now. I have these goals. Why aren't they coming to fruition? Like, what is the next step, Spirit? I'm getting frustrated. I feel like this, this frustration in the air. And it's really this anxiety that's being generated because we're feeling this high from all the light. So we have to learn to ground. We have to learn what works for us in terms of grounding. And that light is a lot of feminine energy coming up, a lot of creative energy. So we're going to have these urges to do what we came here to do in terms of hands in the clay in our creative space in the physical. So when we get into those spaces and we aren't actually grounding and like putting our hands in the clay, we can get critical of ourselves. Like, you're not doing enough. You're not, those emotions can come up for you. And if you can understand them for what they are and then be able to use that expanded consciousness of what's going on to be able to figure out how to ground these energies, because they are so intense. There is a huge shift happening right now. Huge shift. Every day feels different, doesn't it? And right now we're really being asked to step into our creative energy, but we can't really do that until we let go of things that are holding us back. So there's two huge energies I'm feeling with two different groups of people who have kind of been around for a little bit, been in this for, several years, and then people who are just now waking up and they're needing to purge so they're able to step into new earth. You can't come into this creative energy when you're distracted by things that are holding you down and anchoring you down, and not in a grounded way, in a very a way that you don't feel free. So if you're in this group who is kind of freshly awakening to all of these new concepts, it's really important to focus on letting go of those things holding you back. So then you're able to then come in and handle this creative energy that's coming forward and like begging you. Like, I know there's so many people out there that are just like, I know that I'm in alignment to go here with my life. Do I know how it's exactly going to unfold? Do I know how that co-creation with the universe is going to come to fruition? No, but I'm anxious to get there. It's that anxiety to just get there and do it. And because I'm going to criticize myself? No. So like, catch yourself when you're like, you're not doing enough, or you haven't, like, because trust me when I tell you, when it comes to manifesting mission or how your life is going to unfold, no matter how healed you are right now in this moment, it's not going to be exactly what you think it's going to be. First of all, if you're serious about your healing and expansion, it's going to be better. So if you keep feeling attached to what it's supposed to look like, you're not giving the universe that freedom to co-create with you something even better that you couldn't even have thought of in that moment. But when spirit knows exactly what your heart desires. So if you get in that alignment by disconnecting from those things holding you down, then you're able to really just like come into flow space. But also at the same time, when you have those days where the energy is kicking your ass, honoring that. Sometimes that means rest. Sometimes that means pushing yourself. So if you come, I saw this Joe Rogan clip this morning, and it was about, and I posted it on my Instagram if you want to check it out. My Instagram link's below, but it's easy to look me up. Just Kelsey Franks, search Kelsey Franks. But he was speaking on like how one really hard workout can erase that anxiety, because it takes away that anxious feeling of like it's like this physical feeling. Go watch the video because I'm explaining it terribly, but it'll erase your anxiety because it replaces that anxiety. It's like already took care of the problem that you're in fight or flight in terms of the chemical reaction inside of your body. Okay. All right. And then, yes, the other thing that I had to mention was this impulse to improve. And that kind of like goes with that whole like hypercriticalness. Like when you feel that impulse to improve and you're stagnant because maybe you're like not letting go of something in your life, you're going to get anxious and irritated. But you have this impulse. This energy right now in March and the astrology and everything is giving us that impulse to improve. It's giving us that impulse to create. It's such creative energy. I'm telling you, like, I'm walking throughout my days and there's just ideas here, ideas there. And it's almost overwhelming. And that's why it's so important to ground and just not put any type of pressure on yourself, but to be focused on feeling good and becoming into alignment with spirit. Really embodying an energy where you actually want to pull the ideas from. If you're getting these ideas and you're not in the best energy, the first priority is to ground yourself, get in that space of flow with spirit, and then you can rely on that insight that you receive. You don't have to question it. You don't have to say, am I just feeling like I should make this move impulsively because I'm in fight or flight right now because I'm not truly in line with spirit? Like, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, like, where am I at right now, spirit? And what is the next step in terms of aligning to my highest thoughts, my highest ideas, love, being heart-centered, so I'm able to receive information from a reliable space. And I don't have to get confused if my ego's in the driver's seat or if my higher self's in the driver's seat. I'm to that space in my expansion of my consciousness that I'm able to discern what's what. It's no different than when you go into a meditation and then maybe you make contact with some type of being or something. What do? You check in with yourself. You see how you're feeling. You use a little discernment and decide what you're going to do from there. You ask questions. You hold you hold strong boundaries in all areas of life. Even when you meditate, like, you're always able to take this sovereign approach of like, okay, let me get centered. Let me see where I'm at. Let me gather myself and see where I'm at so I know I can discern what I'm receiving. And so what I want to remind you guys, and what I'm reminding of myself, is to be patient with yourself, with these energies, and don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone. Whether you're in that first group of people just awakening, like, you have to get out of your comfort zone because you're letting go of something that you thought was you, right? There's so many things. We all have them. We still got them. No matter how healed you are, and if you're in the second group who's been doing this for years, you still got stuff to let go of, right? But recognizing that, and then, so yeah, recognizing that and being able to let go. And then for, every single person, not just people who've been doing this for a long time, get in that space where you can rely on what's coming through. And then be easy on yourself in terms of like how you're going to follow those breadcrumbs. But in the same sense, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Everybody's getting out of their comfort zone right now. Every single person. And sometimes getting out of your comfort zone means just like pushing yourself a little more. Like, stop thinking that every single time you feel a certain way, that rest is the answer. Sometimes it's not rest. Spirit has literally made me say that in the last 3 videos. So please hear me now when I say sometimes rest is not the answer, and it's making people ungrounded. Okay? Laying in bed, feeling like you're wiped out by the energies, like literally you could feel wiped out, but then you go and you like be in your garden or be outside or go for a walk, and you realize that that is actually what you needed. And I'm going to keep saying that so people understand, like, you're making yourself more ungrounded sometimes by resting too much during this, because you're just letting the energy remain stagnant. I woke up this morning and my legs were like going crazy because the energy just needed to move. So I immediately just get up, I stretch, I move, and I feel better. Okay? So just don't forget that. Grounding is going to be the most important thing moving forward as the energies everywhere on this earth are increasing. Inside of you, everywhere. And the more grounded you can become, the easier this process is going to be. I've been sleeping, I have a grounding blanket. You guys can look that up online, but it's like you plug it into the circle part of the outlet, and then you lay it on your bed, and it's like a sheet kind of, and it has these little, it looks like the threading in it is like, they have these little pieces of metal, almost like metal threads. And you plug yourself in and you lay on it skin to skin, and it helps ground you while you're sleeping at night. That made a huge difference. And I just started back doing that because I've had it for a while, and I used to do it when I first woke up because I was so ungrounded. I couldn't even like stand how ungrounded. I was just like floating through like I'm in a dreamland all day, and that's not healthy. We came here to inherit the earth, okay? We're not here to transcend like being a human. We came here to inherit the earth. We have to ground ourselves into this space. And when we come into that creative energy, we are creating new earth. We can't just sit around in a circle singing Kumbaya and meditating all the time. Yes, that's great. Feeling good is what's going to align you with source, but it's that inspired action that is going to bring new earth into fruition, and we all are a part of that, okay? So we have to get up and get going to get grounded. And that is the main thing that is coming through right now for March. And I'm like screaming it from the rooftops because I'm being told to, okay? So, and one last thing, just because I came over here to make this video, sat down at my desk, and my son put this picture on my desk I didn't realize. It says, "Your heart makes you happy." So I'm going to leave on that note because he isn't wrong about that. And I love you guys, and really, seriously, figure out what works for you in terms of staying grounded, and then getting aligned with spirit so you can get into that flow of being a part of bringing new earth here. And don't overcomplicate it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. A lot of times it's just like hands in the soil. you know, and you don't have to have some huge garden, but we have to start making these steps in the direction of what we're here to create and bring in. And we can't be so focused, so self-centered, that we think that things are just going to be like the way they've always been, and we're always going to be able to be dependent on the system to thrive. That is not the future. The future is us stepping into our sovereign space and creating this new earth, and like providing for ourselves. So how does that look like for you? How does that look like for your family? And how can you get into the space where you're grounded enough and detached enough from distractions and things holding you back, that you can bring that into the space, that you can connect to source, that you can get that divine inspiration. I love you guys, and I will be back on soon.